You like dogs? I like dogs too. So this is this website. It's called what-dog.net. It's public. You can play with it if you want. It shows pictures of dogs, and then it tells you what breed of dog it is. So this one right here is a what? Anyone? A Scottish Terrier. Right, pretty cool. There's an easy one. That is, of course, a Dalmatian, yeah. Here's another site. This looks at people and determines finds the faces in the pictures and tells you their ages. So this particular one has 2 people. They're both 31 years old. Here's one with 3 people. And you can see that it works across different ages, different genders, different skin colors, and so on. It's pretty cool. And just so you know, I'm not cheating here. I'll go use your own photo, and I'll grab a picture of me in here somewhere if I can find it. Pictures like that. There it is. And I'll grab one right there. And it's really kind of depressing, actually, how accurate this thing is. It's the reason this works really well is because it's using. What's that? I don't have to answer that question. The reason it works, it is accurate, is that it's using machine learning. So on the back end, what's happened is that there's a machine learning algorithm that's processing lots and lots of pictures of dogs and pictures of people, and so it's seen pictures of people that are 2 years old or 53 years old from different angles and different expressions on their faces and so on, and it's figured out what they look like and what breeds of dog have pointed ears or long hair or long snouts. And machine learning is a really hot topic right now. There's tools in Azure that'll help you to do machine learning more easily, but it's still hard. And part of the reason it's hard is you need a lot of data, you need a lot of compute power, and you need a lot of time. And most of us have none of those things. So, but Microsoft does. And my name is David. I work for Microsoft, and we have a platform called Azure, which is a highly scalable cloud platform. And so we can push lots of data to these huge servers and run them in parallel and crunch these numbers and then make the results available to you as a web service, which is what's happening here. These sites here are just calling a web service. And there's a whole set of web services called cognitive services that expose this machine learning to you without having to really learn the details of machine learning. So you can do things like image analysis. Here's some categories of it. I've expanded the API section right here. But if you expand it again, you'll see there's this computer vision will tell you, well, what's in a picture? Look at a picture to give you a caption and tags and keywords and whether or not it's maybe potentially racy content. There's emotion analysis and face analysis. These look at faces, figure out where the faces are, where the eyes, nose, and mouth are, whether they're happy or sad or angry. It'll do some of the things with video. There's speech to text, text to speech. There's some language understanding, natural language processing. All the Bing search stuff is in here. All sorts of things that are available to you. Sentiment analysis on text, so you can look and say whether analyze tweets and figure out are they generally positive or negative. We give a score from 0 to 1. 0 is really, really negative. 1 is really, really positive. 50% is kind of neutral. And you can do that. You can do that through an API. It's a REST API, so you can call it from just about anything. So even though Microsoft is doing this, you can call it from your JavaScript or your Ruby or your Python or your Java. It doesn't really matter. As long as you can make REST calls, then you can do that. And to do it, let me just show you an API really quickly here. If I go under like the face API, for example, I can grab a picture here and do face detection. You can see that here's how it's doing. This is the JSON that's being returned from this particular picture. A face rectangle as an object, and they've used that to write some JavaScript to draw this out, and then some face landmarks like where the pupils are and the nose tip is and the top and left and right of the mouth are. And if you hover over it, it's showing the age and the gender and whether she's smiling and reading glasses. All that stuff is contained down here in this JSON that's being returned. So this web page is just making a REST call through JavaScript. And if you want to learn how to do this, you can go down here to the developer section and grab the documentation right here. And for any one of these things, like for example for the emotion API, right here, look at the API reference, and it'll tell you how to make that call. You send a post to this URL. Here's what you send in the header. Here's what the JSON looks like. It's just a URL pointing to some picture on the internet. And you'll notice that you have this key here. And the key you'll get from here, up where it says My Account. You sign up for these, which is free. They're totally free. In here, then you'll get a key. So for every category of service, there's a key. It's like a 20-character GUID that'll get passed to you, assuming your Wi-Fi actually works. There we go. So a bunch of keys here. Now these are secret. I say they're free but they're not totally free. You get 5,000 free transactions per month, for example, the text one. And the way they know it's you making those calls is because of this key right here. So you never ever want to show that key to anyone, especially when you're being recorded, because that would be bad. They could steal that, and my next demo would fail because I'd be out of transactions here. So before I go up here, I only have a couple minutes. I'm going to just show you a couple of demos here. I have in this one some face detection right here. And so in this case, here's my JavaScript for it. I'm making a call to this web service URL right here. It's api.projectdoctor.ai/face/v1/detect, and then there's some parameters I could add up to afterwards. These are optional. But I would say what I want to return, and then I just make an AJAX call. And I like the syntax, the jQuery syntax for AJAX, so I'm doing that, passing this in the headers and some JSON, which will be here, URL, colon, and a URL of an image. And then when I call back, I get some data back and I parse it all out. So in this particular one, the parsing out is just gonna do there's my face demo right here. Nice simple thing, I didn't even need a web server for doing it, is it'll load this face here, and then I just draw a rectangle around the edges of the face, because it knows the width, height, it knows where the pupils are, and the nose. So I put there. So if I want to do something like face swapping application, that might be kind of a nice thing to do. Here's another one that I wrote. In this case, this is for this is text analysis. So in this one, I have some text that's entered on the screen, user can enter on the screen, and I'm going to call a different URL for text analysis. And here's my post. Again, it's a URL. I pass in my subscription key, and I pass in the URL of the actually, I don't even need that URL there. That's extraneous. But let me show it to you anyway. Is in the text, I have, where did I go? Back one. It's called sentiment analysis. And in here, what I do is I have a text here, life is beautiful. It'll tell me whether or not it's on a scale of 0 to 1, whether this is a positive statement. Obviously, it's a positive statement, and so I'll go thinking, and I get a picture of Chuck Norris saying this is a positive statement. But if I say life is terrible, something like that, what I do is that my code just says if it's above 50%, then show Chuck Norris. If it's below 50%, then show that it's a negative thing to say, and so on. And I've got two quick demos here. Here's another one here with just optical character recognition, where you can look at a picture of text, and it will return a list of lines of text, and an array of lines of text, and with each line it'll return an array of words. So you could read those words. In this case, I'm just going to output the words here and loop through all the lines and just output them. But you can do things like maybe replace one of those words. So you not only get the words, but you get the position of each word. And so in here, I've got this poem here by Robert Frost, and I do that and it actually reads the poem from that image. Really cool thing there. And the last demo I'll show you is this one right here. This is one, combines a few things. This is called Emotions in Motion. And what I've done here is I'm making several calls to these web services. One, to get some thumbnail images, which will show up here in a second. There we go. So let me just grab one of these pictures here. This good-looking guy here it'll detect his emotion in a second here. And so it's right here. So I should probably make that a little bigger here. So original emotion you see right there is anger. I'm showing anger. And so it's doing that through a web service call that's telling what the emotion is. But also, if I wanted to change that expression, I've got the option here to click on, let's make David happy here, right there. So to do that, I had to know where the eyes are and where the mouth is. So it's also doing some facial detection in there. I pretty much, this is neutral and sadness. I think you'll agree this is probably the best application ever written in the history of applications, and so on. So that's it. That's Microsoft Cognitive Services. You can get started right away today. Microsoft.com/cognitive will get you there. Sign up for free. And if you want more information on my blog, I have a link on the side. I've written a lot about this stuff. Over here on the side, it's Cognitive Services. So davidgiard.com is my blog, and click on it. And I've got a Git Hub Repository, so the samples I've shown you, plus a bunch more. All the source code is on there. I've got some screencasts, kind of going through a little bit slower, talking a little bit slower, showing off those things, some blog posts of how to do it, a podcast I was on recently, and the slides that I did not show you tonight. So love to see you try it. Thanks a lot for having me.